Thanksgiving? Like, did you guys get lots of food, or what happened?
Oh yeah, I got plenty of food. Yeah, I went Thanksgiving hopping. It was my first time Thanksgiving hopping. Went to 3 different houses. So I got 3 different plates from 3 different families and stuff like that.
All kinds of food.
All kinds of food, yeah. Like, it was actually perfect timing for everything because like we went to one, chill out for like an hour or so, about like an hour and a half, and then took off to the next spot, and they were just finishing like cooking and stuff too. So like, it just got done.
Oh,
and so we're like, oh, what's up? We brought our stuffed mushrooms. Like, here's some stuffed mushrooms. We're contributing to this feast. And then, of course, we hung out there for again like an hour or so, right? And then went on to the next spot, and they just finished cooking too. So
I wish mine. Yeah, I wish mine was that like elaborate. Mine was just. I cooked, 2 people came over, and that was it. It was.
See, if I was in his situation, you know what I would have did? See, I would have took a to-go plate, and then I would have went over to the next house and be like, hey, I brought some stuff.
That's actually good thinking. Yeah.
Actually, I should have just gotten to-go plates from all 3 spots.
Yeah, man, that would have been, yeah.
But, did you guys score any deals, though, for Black Friday?
Oh, no, I don't Black Friday. I've seen too many horror stories and on the news and stuff like that.
Not trying to feed into capitalism?
No, not that. I'm fine with capitalism. It's just I don't want to get trapped with it. I'm a little dude, you know?
I hear you. Now, we did some online shopping, and then I went to the stores, and I got some fire jeans.
With Balmain?
Huh?
Balmain jeans? What you get?
Nah, they were just from American Eagle, but they were like some black. I needed some black jeans, so I got some black ones that have holes in them, you know. You know how I am about clothes.
Alright, fair enough.
So,
are they the stretchy kind?
They are flex fit.
Yeah, yo, those are so nice.
Yes, they are.
Because my thigh's a little bit meaty, and like, so like I'll be wearing the regular jeans. I go to American Eagle normally with my jeans, and so I got some jeans from there, wearing them like spread your legs a little bit, which I try to climb over. So I'm like the jeans I contract and like, oh, I can't move that far, but these flex ones are like, oh, I have like
hell yeah, they're great.
So much movement.
Plus, you don't get nut wedgies and stuff like that. No. So, yeah, it's...
I don't know anything about it. I'm broke as a joke right now, so I didn't get any shopping done. I did a lot of window shopping for my...
Yeah, no, I've done a lot of window shopping.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Because you were just mentioning earlier the Target, they had the, what was it, 60-inch, the art, like the curved in TV for $600. And I'm like, I remember last Black Friday, that thing was like $4,000. Now it's already down to $600.
Bro, so I know. I was about to tell the wife, I was like, hey, pull out the credit card. Swipe.
Because my friend got a 55-inch and a brand new iPhone, and then he said he's decided to stop bumming in, just having his mattress on the floor and got a bed frame and all that. So,
there you go.
So his girlfriends come over, you know.
There you go. A little bit more adult-like.
Mm-hmm. So you were telling me, because I know you're a Marvel guy, you were telling me that you saw the Justice League movie.
I did. I saw it actually on Thanksgiving, right after our third dinner. We had it timed out, like, all right, so we don't want to spend too much time here.
Right.
So let's go ahead and buy movie tickets for this movie.
All right.
And at 7, so we had our lunch dinner, right, like at 5. I'm like, all right, what's up, everybody? We ate, and like, cool, mingle. Oh, we gotta go, movie time.
Right.
But, I want to see it again. I want to see it again. Cause I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it just yet.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like,
well, you went in with a personal bias because you're
I was open. I mean,
you were open because you're pro Marvel.
Well, they just have better movies. They have the system down. They have a
They and know to be fair, like DC's been putting out shit. So it's kind of hard to get excited for something
outside of
the Chris Nolan Batman movies were
different. Those are its own different thing. You can't bring that in.
Yeah.
You can't bring that in.
Dark Knight series, like you can't touch that.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, like,
so Ben Affleck's the only thing I can like so do I have Wonder Woman. I have Batman versus Superman, and then what do I have? Suicide Squad, and that's it.
Suicide Squad, and then
that was awful.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I didn't hear good things about it. I heard
Man of Steel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all.
Well, I heard Suicide Squad was a piece of shit, just basically because they made it so hyped up that Jared Leto would have all these scenes, and I heard that he only was in a couple.
Well, see, what happened was during production, like they were trying to go for one thing, and halfway through production they switch it up. Like, I just kind of go this route. no, they're trying to do this route. They're trying to do
Too
different
much.
things. They didn't settle on one exact thing, and then just came out with trash.
See, the thing is like people were hyping it up so much. And, like,
Right.
for me, it was hard to follow a performance of Heath Ledger when you get that
Right,
from the
that's
Dark Knight
the-
series.
yeah, that's the-
I mean, at least they didn't try like just to mimic it. They just
Yeah.
try to like, here's a different type of Joker. It's
Right.
a crazy Joker.
Yeah,
but
he
still.
did his own thing. Like he didn't do bad. I just like overall as a film,
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
But and I like
It was
DC.
just dumb, actually.
Yeah,
it was dumb.
terrible, man. It was terrible. See, I like DC. Like I'm a big Superman guy, so I saw the Justice League and I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't know if it was pretty good because it was a good movie or because they were putting out shit. And it
Yeah,
just so
that's
happened-
why I want to watch it again. Because
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
it's like, okay, this isn't a trash movie like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like the Suicide Squad. And Batman vs. Superman was just okay.
Yeah.
Man, it still was alright.
Is it on the level of Marvel? Absolutely not. But you know, you get. I guess you gotta see when other films come out, the other independent films like The Flash and Aquaman. We'll see how they really stand.
Well, I'm kind of curious as to because they're talking about doing a Joker's origin story, and like I'm aware of the comics. I'm not gonna say I'm a fanboy, but I do know that there's 3 origin stories. So, kind of curious to see where it goes because like back to my childhood, like Batman the animated series, which to me is one of the best things that ever come out of the '90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They did they did the movie was it Batman and the Mask of the Phantasm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about how Joker is like a former hitman for like one of the mob families in Gotham, and then or you have the Joker story from what was it Tim Burton's,
Yeah.
where he is a mob boss or whatever, a hitman, and then falls into the bat, and that's how he gets his start. And you have Heath Ledger's.
Who doesn't have an origin story, he's just there.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see how they play and who would they get to play.
Get a new actor or get a CGI Joker and have Mark Hamill
Voice it.
Voice it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
I don't know. I think
So-
he's done doing that.
Yeah,
he's done. He's done playing the
Is
Joker.
he retired? Is
I
he
think he's
retired?
retired of the Joker.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying is he retired from acting because the rumors are that Luke Skywalker's dead in this film. In Return of the Jedi, it's coming out this coming month. So
in my heart and hearts,
Oh.
I feel like that might happen. I don't want it to happen as a fan, but it's like
Does he get the same treatment as Obi-Wan did in New
I
Hope?
feel like that's what's gonna
I
happen.
think so too.
I feel like because they're gonna try to ascend Rey's character,
Right.
so I feel like they're gonna do something like that in front of her, or like have Luke die in a drastic way to make it like
They just,
Make it real, like
yeah,
yo,
they're
I'm
just trying to
I'm
kill
really
off.
need to do something
Yeah,
about this.
they're just trying to kill off the whole original cast. It's like, I think everyone was kind of done with it. I knew that. I know he's your boy Harrison Ford wanted to be done with that so bad for the longest time.
yeah, but I mean, that's who he is. He's either Han Solo or Indiana Jones. Like you
Yeah.
gotta pick one, bro.
And maybe one more to be the president.
Yeah,
True, Air Force One.
Air Force
One.
One, great movie by the way.
I like what was it? I liked him in The Fugitive too. That's a classic.
Fugitive was a good movie.
I love that movie.
True, yeah.
I mean, he's had a lot of great movies over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he has.
So I'm curious to see how they play it out, just because I like the fact that the director's kind of creating his own kind of universe. It's not like really based off the graphic novels. It's kind of him intertwining things, but not really
Yeah.
following a set, which it can either be great or a complete disaster.
Well, the second movie is always the strong, like the hardest one to do, right? Because if you think about it, how many times does a sequel surpass the original?
True, yeah.
Well,
And there's only been very few cases where that's happened. One of them definitely is with Star Wars. Actually, is Empire Strikes Back.
I know that's your favorite, yeah.
Trump's A New Hope.
See, everyone always tells me this because they know I'm a big mob movie guy. They always tell me like Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1. I really don't think it is. Really?
That's the other one. Yeah, that's
Really?
the other one.
Well, I know it's voted like the best sequel of all time, so I really don't think it is. Like, I really like. I've seen it. I've seen both of them 100 times. Part 3 is a piece of shit, but number 2, I don't. The first one was 3.5 hours, and this one's like
Pacino takes
4.
over in the second one.
Oh yeah, well no, he transitions from like a wide-eyed kid that
Yeah.
suddenly he's becoming the boss. Now he's just like a stone cold killer that's shooting his brother inside a fishing boat.
That's
like,
what people want to see.
I get it. I get it, but at the same time, I just don't feel like it's a better sequel. And the only one I can think of is I think Bad Boys 2 is better than Bad Boys 1. I think so.
I never got around to seeing Bad Boys 2.
I think Bad Boys 2 is way better than Bad Boys 1, in my honest opinion.
Nah.
I think so. But
Maybe
anyway.
the soundtrack, but nah.
No, you don't think so, really?
Yeah, Rocky.
And,
Rocky 2 was good.
Rocky 2 was better than the first one, in my opinion.
Well, his favorite's Rocky 3, and I totally disagree with that. Rocky 2 is the best one.
Bro, 3 and 4 are the best Rockies ever.
No,
okay, hold on. I guess
Rocky 4's got the best training scene.
Rocky 4 is nothing but a montage, man. I mean, I love Rocky 4. Nothing gets me more pumped than Rocky 4, but
just the story.
It's just like for story, obviously Rocky 1 and 2. Yeah. But then after that, it's just kind of like a cash cow.
If there was no Rocky 4, there'd be no Creed.
Yeah. Creed 2.
Because Rocky 4 set the premise for that movie.
Okay.
Think of,
Okay, you're right.
So without that, like, if they let Apollo live, the Creed movie, there's no idea behind it. Like, there's no Creed that exists. What are you gonna do? Like, nobody wants to see Apollo's kid box when Apollo's still alive. They want to see, him being an illegitimate child, and then his dad dies, he gets trained by Rocky, and now they're having a sequel. Like, come on now.
He's gonna face a Sage Northcutt for the world title.
Yeah, man, I'm still trying to find that picture. I can't find it.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere, but that's gonna be. I like the first Creed movie; it was really good.
Oh yeah,
that's why I think the second one's gonna be good.
No, I was surprised how much Sage Northcutt looks like.
But yeah, he's sculpted.
Who's the actor that plays Dolph
Lundgren?
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren. I was surprised on how much he looks like him. So I'm kind of excited to see that. But speaking of UFC thoughts on Gaslam knocking out.
Did you see that?
Knocking out the
right
count.
here.
Oh, dude, it was nasty. It was nasty.
Let me take it back for you guys. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't think Bisping should have came back to fight that soon. No. Especially, you get choked out. Like, he got choked out just how many weeks ago? Like 3 weeks ago? And then you come back and you fight. And I understand he wanted to try to get a dub so he can go out on his shield. But now you have to fight again if you want to save your legacy. Or if you want to go out getting 2 losses, you can do that. But,
I just think his career is done. Like,
it is.
He hung on to the middleweight title for as long as he could. And he did an admirable job. But that, like, well, that's what I'm saying. And I honestly question that Dan Henderson decision, because if you look at the 2 fighters,
the only reason Dan Henderson got that fight is because of the history they had back at UFC 100 when he knocked Bisping out.
But I don't think Bisping won the second fight.
No, you saw his face. Yeah. Like, he looked like he was disfigured, bro. But the thing is like, they're gonna, I don't know, like, if you let Dan Henderson win that fight, if you're a judge in Las Vegas, are you really going to want a fighter that's 50 years old to be the middleweight champ? Because he's going to get destroyed his next
fight. But did he ever touch the title when he was in the UFC?
Nah, absolutely not. No. Because Anderson Silva had ties on it for how many years until Chris Weidman came along.
My boy. He's at the top of his career,
He had a title shot back in 2007 or 8, and he got choked out by Silva in the second round. Dan Henderson we're talking about. So, like, that was the closest he got. And then other than that, he went to the other organization. What was it? Strikeforce, I think?
Yeah, Strikeforce.
And I think he had the belt there. I know he had a big win over Fedor, but that was it. And he came back to UFC and just...
Fact check right here,
Yeah, he just had, like, fights, like classic fights. He had another fight with Shogun, and he had fights with other people who, the fans wanted to see it, but... Yeah, that was the only reason he got that. He was number 14 ranked in the world at middleweight when he fought Bisping for the title. Like, that makes no sense, other than the fact that they had a fight before. Yeah,
Strikeforce. He had the light heavyweight championship, and then also, like, back to Bisping. I don't think.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's okay. It's progress in the making. So
But yeah, back. Like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think Bisping beat Silva. I think a run of his fights to the title were kind of just like they weren't earned, in my opinion. He didn't win those fights. He was given those fights, and then he got lucky with left hand Louis on an arrogant like Luke Rockhold. Yeah. He needs to stick to modeling. Like the guy has just become an arrogant asshole as far as like thinking what he deserves. because you can't argue and you can't try to negotiate with the boss when your numbers aren't high. Like, for a while, that middleweight division was so boring, and nobody was buying the pay-per-view that Dan was like, okay, like this is what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah.
Because like I love Chris Weidman, I do, but he's not an extreme personality. You know, he's the goody two shoe. You know, like quiet kid from Long Island. So I can't. You know.
Well, see, yeah. The problem was with the UFC is that like you had a handful of fighters, right?
Yeah.
You had your GSPs. You had Anderson Silva, John Jones.
Right.
We're talking pre-Conor.
Right.
You had these guys who
DJ. Yeah.
Yeah, you had these guys who were winning fights. They didn't need to talk a lot because their performances were so outstanding.
Right.
And then GSP leaves. John Jones gets suspended. Anderson Silva loses to Chris Weidman twice.
Yeah.
So you have nobody that's exciting in any division.
Right.
And then here comes Conor. He's running his mouth.
Right.
He talks and he backs it up. And now everybody's trying to do what Conor does. And it's just like so much of a gimmick. People don't want to see it. They're like, if you're not Conor, like you can't do that. Like certain people are trying to talk crap that have been in the UFC for years, and you just look at them and you're like, dude, you look awkward trying to talk trash. Like that's not your personality.
That's not your thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's just one of those things. So
I remember after McGregor beat Mendez, and during the press conference, he had Mendez completely like frustrated, like verbally. And after the fight at the, it was the big press conference leading into like the...
prior to UFC 205 Alvarez.
Yeah, prior to that, or whatever, he had Mendez completely frustrated again because Mendez wants this guy so bad, but Mendez can't talk trash. Like, either you can or you can't. Like, it's not something you can practice. Either you got it or you don't.
Well, yeah, and then you can't talk trash when you got finished. Like, if it was a unanimous decision loss or if it was like a split decision, like, hey, let's run it back. But when you got beat in the second round, like that's why like Cody Garbrandt, he's talking about I want a title shot against TJ again. Like bro, you got knocked out.
Right.
Like you gotta wait a little while.
I think that that Dillashaw Dominic Cruz fight, if Dominic Cruz wins in Detroit, I think that's the match.
He's out of that fight.
Dominic Cruz got out?
He broke his arm, which is perfect because if he says I broke my arm or he has some kind of fracture, he pulls out of the fight, they already have a replacement for him.
Right.
So what's going to happen once he heals up, hey, TJ, let's run it back.
Oh, okay.
So I
was about to say, there's been a lot of pullouts. Like my boy Frank Yeager pulled out of Detroit with I think he had a face injury or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was watching the promo for the Holloway Aldo 2 fight, and man, does Aldo look like he has absolutely lost that killer instinct. You can just see it in his eye.
He's not the same guy.
Well, it's just like when you get knocked out in 13 seconds, it changes you, and then you lose your next fight to a kid that's like the up and comer that's on like this big fight win streak, and he's like the young dog in the fight now. And it's his division now. He doesn't look like the same. I mean, you had your run, you had your era, but now it's no time to call it quits.
The problem is, Conor defeated him mentally before that fight so bad. Like, he got in Aldo's head so bad. Like, he's talking to Aldo in his own native language, talking, I'm going to kill you. He's like, he's taking the belt from him at the press conferences. He's like smacking the back of his head when they're doing interviews. Like, he already beat him before the fight had started. So like anything that happened in that fight, like Aldo was gonna lose either way because he was like Cody.
Yeah.
He was so emotionally invested in the fight that a mistake was gonna happen. It just so happens it did it in 13 seconds. And it sucks. But it is what it is. You can't fuck with Conor. Conor's a man.
Well, I think he's changed like the landscape of like the fight game forever. And now like the UFC's taking over boxing. It's like boxing trying to push out all these super fights now, but once again, boxing is so dirty that it taints we keep going back to the Triple G Canelo fight, which we all know that Triple G won, or at least in my mind.
Even, like if you look at Kovalev and Andre Ward, yeah. I mean, that first fight was controversial within itself, and then the second fight was as well. It's like, did the ref make the right call?
I was going to say, didn't Kovalev get knocked out in the second one?
Well, technical lockout. The ref called the fight.
Yeah, he called it off because it looked like he wasn't really defending himself.
But then if you're getting low blows, it's kind of hard to try to defend yourself. But,
it's one of those things. But but do you think that boxing needs because Mayweather's gone, so do you think they need another outspoken person to try to bring them back up, or what?
I don't know. I mean, Mayweather's little protege, whatever. I can't think of his name, but
Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, Tank Davis.
Yeah.
I personally don't like him, but
he's skilled. He's not.
I know he doesn't got it. I mean, he talks to trash. You can see it in the ring, before.
You ain't hitting me.
Him talking trash is like Mike Tyson talking trash. It is the sound of.
Well, I mean, he's a different type of guy though. Isn't he from Baltimore? He's a different type of rough.
So.
Yeah,
I think so. But he's skilled. But the thing.
I think he's having Adrian Broner problems because he couldn't make the weight for the Mayweather-McGregor card, and so he relinquished his title. So I think he's having personal problems or whatever.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to being focused, but at the same time, he's young. He's still growing into his body. I think he should move up to 135 because he was fighting at 130. Mm-hmm. And you're killing everybody at 130.
Oh, he's a beast, yeah.
You move up 5 more pounds, you're still going to be successful. It's not like UFC where you jump from lightweight to welterweight. That's a 15-pound difference. Right. It's so significant on your body. But 5 pounds, that's really not too bad. Mm. So you can still, and plus it's boxing. So not taking anything away from boxing, but you don't have to worry about a bigger guy laying on top of you on the ground. So you throw hands and you worry about his body leaning on you.
Right.
He's skilled enough to handle it. Mm. I just don't like when people miss weight and then make bullshit excuses.
Oh, I know.
But for your question, I don't know. Maybe they need another face like that. I don't know. Somebody to kind of. I guess somebody to rally behind or yo, this guy's saying this, trying to scratch this guy right now, and we know how this guy fights. Maybe they need that.
I don't think that anybody will ever do it again like Mayweather did because I think Mayweather kind of followed the Sugar Ray Leonard blueprint because after Leonard's first pro fight, he paid back all his investors with interest. So then he managed his entire career from that point, so he didn't really have to deal with promoters. And then Mayweather took that to the next promotion company. Now, he's still the biggest name in boxing because of his promotion company. So I don't think necessarily it has to be the personality. I just think the quality of fighters. There has to be
quality of fighters and the quality of fights. I
think the rivalries we missed this golden era of boxing with the middleweights where it was Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, and Durant. Yeah. You don't see that anymore in any division. The heavyweight division is dead. Who cares about that? The only reason anyone knows about the heavyweight division is because Tyson Fury beat Klitschko. Klitschko was the most boringest heavyweight for 10 years, and Tyson Fury now has drug problems, so he's trying to figure that situation out. The only reason anyone talks about heavyweights now is because of how ignorant that Deontay Wilder fight was.
See, that was crazy.
Yeah.
See, I think you need somebody to be outspoken, and then you need somebody that's willing to be the bad guy. The reason why Mayweather was so successful, because he was willing to be the bad guy. And what do? You play the bad guy, you talk smack. Everyone hates you, but they're going to buy the fight because they want to see you lose.
Yeah.
And when you're skilled enough to win, you're making all this money. And you got to be honest, from a personal standpoint, asking you two guys, we're walking in the street and we see two guys on the corner and they're just bumping each other in the shoulder. And they're not saying nothing, and then they start fighting, and you're like, oh man, it's a pretty good fight. You'd be like, okay, you'd sit and watch it. But if they're talking trash, fuck you up.
Right.
Nah, you didn't do nothing.
Everybody's running over there to watch.
Everybody's coming, right? Yeah. So you need somebody to talk a little bit. They don't have to do it a lot, just a little bit, because that's what's going to draw the fans.
Sure. So you got Triple G, he's an exciting fighter, right? Because he knocks people out.
Yeah.
But you hear him talking stuff, he's one of the nicest people ever.
Right. Yeah. Now imagine Triple G's stock if he knocks somebody out and he goes and hovers over them while they're knocked down and says, "I'm gonna kill you again," or something like that. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, "Oh my god!" Yeah. And they're gonna buy his next fight for sure. His pay-per-view views are gonna rock it.
Well, I think he tried that because I forget what fight it was. I'm gonna look at, but during the road to who was the Canadian French guy that he fought?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Well, anyway, during the post fight press conference or leading into his next fight, he talked about William Monroe Jr. He was talking about how he let the fight continue and let Willie get shots off to make the fight more exciting. He stood there in the middle of the ring and took it, and he's like, "This guy's nothing. He's got nothing for me." And he was talking about that while he was being interviewed next to his next one, David Lemieux, who was a big power puncher from Montreal.
He destroyed.
Yeah, who he destroyed.
Yeah.
So he's trying to like get more pay-per-view buys by letting like people know like there's nothing you can do that's gonna hurt me. Like like none of you got anything for me in this division.
Yeah.
He's trying to be that way, but the problem is like I think the problem is honestly he doesn't speak very good English. Like so you know.
Yeah. That's probably the other thing. Like, barrier.
Language barrier.
So he's trying, but it's just it's when you're knocking people out like no further than the 6th round, and that's like a consistent thing. No one's gonna buy your fights.
You see, what I would do if I was Triple G, like because I can understand the language barrier.
Yeah.
If I was him and I knew like for sure I can knock somebody out like prior to the fight, like just do gestures. Like every time you're in their face off, smile or something and just go stone cold and or just push them or something like that.
Yeah.
And then because the reason why you have successful fighters that talk trash is because they back it up. Like Conor.
Sure.
Like let's just compare him to Mayweather. Like Mayweather draws the fans because he talks shit and he wins by unanimous decision, right?
Sure.
But people hate him because he's not exciting. Versus a Conor where he does the same thing, he talks shit, but it's MMA. The percentage of knockouts are a lot higher. Sure. He's knocking them out. And that's what fans like, universal fans want to see people get knocked out. So when they see Conor talking about, it's red panty night, I'm gonna steal your girl, and then he knocks you out in like 2 rounds. They're just like, oh my god, I love this dude.
Well, I think it's kind of a double standard, just because like I think Mayweather and McGregor are the same exact person of like how they came up, in a sense of like talking trash and then backing up in the fights. But the thing that everyone like the reason why I think Mayweather is so hated and McGregor so loved, even though they're the exact same person, is because you never see Mayweather necessarily being the aggressor in the fight. What he does is he sits back for 3 rounds, like calculates your habits, and then picks you apart like from the 4th on until like it goes decision, or like you just get exhausted from him like chasing him, and then like he just knocks you out due to exhaustion, which is exactly what happened with McGregor.
Yeah.
So because he's a defensive fighter, and that's fine. I mean, he said multiple times there's nothing cool about standing in the center of a ring and getting like taking headshots, and then I have all this money and I don't know what to do with it because my mental facilities are not there anymore. So I can understand that, I can appreciate that. But I think that's the main reason why Mayweather is so hated, because he's not the aggressive fighter. I mean, he's had only, a handful of knockouts, but he knocked out Hatton, knocked out McGregor. Well, I mean, didn't really knock him out.
TKO.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think who else.
But yeah, well, see, the thing is like he knocked out Hatton. He had a controversial knockout.
Ortiz.
Yeah. But prior to that, all of Mayweather's knockouts were when he was at like lightweight, super lightweight. Because, he's knocking out dudes who, are smaller guys.
Right.
And when he's moving up, and he's got older, he's fighting guys who are bigger than him. His chances of knocking you out is not as high. If you look at Mayweather's career, he was always a defensive fighter, but when his uncle Roger trained him, he was more offensive, and you saw that a lot earlier in his career. And then when his dad came back to be his trainer after he fought Marquez, he was draw you in, counter, move, And I mean, that's the name of the game: hit and not get hit.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you're in a fight on the street, you don't want somebody to hit you in the face. You're gonna do everything you can.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, but just like you said, it's because it's not exciting. Conor's exciting. He's gonna tell you, I'm gonna knock you out in the 1st round, and then he does it, and then everybody just, oh my god,
it's
all those juice heads at the UFC fights that are and they can do it too. So it plays perfect right now.
Well, what boxer do you think is exciting? I know you're a Canelo guy, but like, what do you like? Who do you think is exciting right now? I know Andre Ward just retired, so that's kind of a big personality blow
for Creed 2.
Oh, Stuntman's coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, what's his name? I have his name right now.
What division is he fighting?
I think he's middleweight.
Middleweight, let's see, there's two brothers in the middleweight.
Oh, the Charlo brothers?
The Charlo brothers. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're good.
They're part of the Triple G still in the middleweight division. I mean,
they're part of what's his face's fight camp. Tony something. He used to train Tyson at the end of his career. They train with who's the Cuban that had the there was a split decision loss to Canelo that they thought he won. He's a defective from Cuba. A long middleweight.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Arizona Lara.
Okay.
They're part of that same fight camp or whatever.
There's a lot of good boxers right now because you got like, especially the welterweight division is stacked.
Yeah.
You got Keith Thurman. You got
he's nasty, dude.
Yeah, you got Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia's still a good boxer, bro. Like me, and Errol Spence Jr. You have what's the boy from Omaha, Nebraska?
Crawford. Yeah, Bud Crawford.
Crawford, that's who it is.
Bud Crawford, yeah.
Terrence Crawford.
I think, him and Keith Thurman, I think, are the most dominant fighters right now, in my opinion. No, I don't think anybody's on the same level as Keith Thurman is.
I don't know, man. Errol Spence is nice.
We'll see. We'll see. I say, isn't Errol Spence fighting soon? Hold on.
He is nice, bro. Like, that dude is straight up an animal. Yeah. And then you still got other boxers in that division that are in the mix. Like, hell, if Mikey Garcia wanted to move up, he could. He fought Broner at, was it 140?
Who?
Mikey Garcia. He fought Adrian Broner just recently.
I'm saying Mikey Garcia won that fight.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there, man. But
no, I was about to say, no, Errol Spence Jr. has impressed me a lot. I was mad because another East Coast kid that I really liked that had the big upset win against, I forget his name, he's a Russian, but he beat, Chris Algieri won the junior welterweight title or whatever, and then had like the fight with Manny and then lost that and then lost to Amir Khan and then
Khan's still out there too.
Right? He's had that big. He's got to recover from that. I don't think he can ever recover from that nasty of a knockout to Canelo, but we'll see.
He shouldn't have been fighting Canelo, man. He's too small.
Bro.
He stepped up. I mean, he was winning the fight.
Yeah, power to him.
He did. I thought he fought great, but
he's fast, bro.
Well, no, he's extremely fast. He was winning the fight. He was controlling the whole fight, but everyone knew what was going to happen. Everyone knew that if he made one mistake, Canelo's going to connect and he's going to knock him out. And look what happened.
Yeah, bro.
It's a hard knock.
You saw his face.
The way his head hit the canvas too. Like
if I was his manager, I'm not letting him take that fight. I'm like, bro, no, Canelo's too big. He is not for you.
Right.
We can find somebody else. I understand Canelo's a money fight. More power to Amir Khan. He stepped up. He wanted to fight. And I'm not mad at him. But if I'm worried about his safety, I'm like, bro, you don't want that fight. If you want to make money, take it. But, I mean, I just didn't.
No, I mean, he was winning the fight. You know, it just happens. Just like in any combats where you make one mistake and that'll cost you.
Yeah, it'd be like if Jordan was like, I want to play Kobe one-on-one.
Oh, don't get started with that. Come on.
It's not like, bro, you don't want that.
Oh, come on, son. You saw the interaction between those two at the All-Star game when Jordan was like, "Why'd you go for the up fake?" Kobe read Jordan's blueprint, and let me tell you something.
How old was Kobe when they met?
I was about to say Kobe was on his third championship. I believe it was 2002, Jordan's last year. So Kobe was we came in the league 96, right?
Yeah.
At 18, so he would have been
at 18.
So
he got his third ring by then, but hey,
he was 25, 24, 25, right?
Yeah, you're Jordan. I mean, you're gonna get somebody every now and then, but in a one-on-one, like, come on now, what are we talking here?
I'm telling you that Kobe. We've already talked about this. I agree that Kobe's the better shooter of the two, but
he's a better player.
He's not a better player. Like,
tell me
what makes the person the better player? Like,
first I would say with both sides of the ball, right?
Yeah, both sides of the ball.
I mean, I think Kobe has more NBA defensive first teams based on the fact he played longer.
Well, Jordan has more years because he came back from the second part.
Right, but Kobe still played what 20 years?
Kobe played here. I got it up right here. Yeah.
Kobe played 20 years. Jordan played, was it 86? Or was it 84?
He came in 84.
84. So he played until 93.
Right.
And then retired. So
And came
10
back.
years in '96, and then played. He came back in '95, and then played until '98.
Kobe has a better 3-point field goal
I
percentage.
already gave
Field
you.
goal percentage isn't that far off. Jordan has him slightly.
I already gave you the fact that he's a better shooter. I already said
Better
that.
free throw shooter, more career points for Kobe. You know, so
Listen,
like,
Jordan gave Kobe the blueprint.
bro.
There's
So
no.
okay, even if he did, he perfected it and he made it better.
I will gladly take 91 Jordan versus 2007 Kobe.
No, that's a wash.
It's
What
not
are
a
you
wash.
talking about here?
It's still Jordan when he's still young and athletic enough to take you to the hole and dunk on you, but at the same time his back to the basket game is now developed and he can take you either way.
Dude, Kobe's back to the basket game at that point. What you said, 2007.
2007
It was way better
when he had no big man, he had no choice but to score 60.
It was way better than Jordan's.
Okay.
At any point in Jordan's career, the 2007 Kobe back to the basket play was better than any year of Jordan's career. And then he could still outjump. He could still shoot at the perimeter at any point of the 3-point inside better than Jordan could.
See, I knew this conversation was gonna come up. So I was watching.
Yeah,
I was watching.
no.
Yeah, I was watching Kobe interviews. I was trying to gauge it, how I want to talk about it, and he said it in his post-retirement interview. I forget his name, Raheem something or whatever. But he was like, "What's your relationship with Jordan like?" And he says, "My relationship with Jordan is the fact of we were the type of players that knew who we could bully and get into your heads very quickly from tip-off,
Mm-hmm.
and then we knew players that we couldn't. And we just had that killer instinct, that thing that you can't really explain or teach, you just had it.
Yeah.
You didn't have it. So in my mind, they're exactly alike in every which way. Like you look at, there's plenty of videos where you see side-by-side YouTube videos where it's back to the basket, it's the baseline turnaround jumper, and it's the exact same. But in my mind, I just don't think anybody can hold a candle to Jordan. I really can't. Not because he was the first, but just because he's the best.
How's he the best, bro?
Well, I mean, 6 titles, 6 Finals MVPs, how many overall league MVPs?
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit when you have...
And he played in the era of men. Like when refs didn't take over the game.
Did Kobe not? He came in the league mid-90s.
When
And
96.
he was a young cat, straight out of high school, 18 years old, won the league.
Alright, playing with grown men, I'll give him that.
Jordan didn't do that.
Jordan did want to do that at a time where I don't think it was.
And then here goes another one.
I would say, but Kobe wasn't the first high school player to do that. Garnett did it before him, and who else?
Yeah, but he's way better than Garnett. Way better career.
Mm.
The only other person, other than Kobe, that came straight out of high school that has just as good of a career as him, or maybe better, as LeBron. To be like, let's just be fair.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
So Kevin Garnett's a great player, taking out from him, but he's not on that level. Like
No, I won't say that.
he has a ring. He got his ring. Good for him, you know. But he's not even in the same conversation.
Well, well, this is kind of a two-way street because I know where you're gonna come back with. But does Kobe win as many times without Shaq?
Kobe doesn't win titles without Shaq. Shaq doesn't win titles without Kobe.
Okay.
Jordan doesn't win without Pippen.
Okay.
Pippen made it to the show without Jordan. Almost. He got fucked in a bad game, Eastern Conference Finals. He almost, but he didn't go. So I'll give you that. They don't get there without each other.
Okay.
Because they're both great players. Like all 4 of them are great players. They need each other to win.
Now, does Kobe deserve that Finals MVP even though Powell played out of his mind in that series against Orlando?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
He took him to the show. See, the thing is like people. That's why I was a little upset when Andre Iguodala got the Finals MVP and not Steph Curry when they won back in 2015. Is because like you had a dude who literally carried you through the playoffs, and Steph Curry was injured during that finals, and he still put up really good numbers, and you gave it to Iguodala because he had a couple good games. Like that shit, I don't know, that just didn't sit well with me.
Well,
It'd be like Pippen getting that Finals MVP when you know who got you to the show.
Well, I think it fed in the storyline about the one was it the one of the film people on staff for the Golden State suggested to Steve Kerr, why don't you put Iguodala on LeBron, and like it ended up shutting down LeBron for the series.
No,
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it fitted the storyline, and I think that's what was the X factor in the press's mind of that series. So I think that fed into it. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
So how much do you rely on just stats and numbers of picking a player? Because I know because you also need to watch a player. You want to see how they actually play and how they respond or act with their other teammates.
I think it's about the sport, honestly, because like
He's gonna go to stats. I'm talking about skill for skill. Kobe's better than Jordan. He's gonna go to stats.
I never really watched too much basketball. I never watched any of them,
Yeah.
right? So I'm kind of unbiased. So I pull up the stats, I see the numbers, and in some areas it leads towards Jordan. Actually, in points, he had more points than like averaging more points.
Yeah, points per
Then,
game average.
Yeah, he got
Kobe.
more than Kobe. Yeah.
But then Kobe like does better defensively and actually has more assists. Which assists, we all know is very important to be
Yeah.
playing that.
And people call
team.
Kobe a ball hog.
He actually
has
has
more
a-
assists than Jordan.
Well,
in less years.
Yeah, like come on now.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Kobe, that gap in between that when Shaq left in 04 after the finals, and when did they get Powell? 2007,
Seven
or 8?
time,
Yeah. Who's he gonna pass to?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I told you.
yeah.
Who did Jordan pass to before Pippen came? Nobody.
But also, I think the X factor a lot of people forget is that both of them had the same coach. They don't get to the show. They don't become what they are without the guru.
True.
Yeah,
Unless they were coached by Pop.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Greg Popovich.
Yeah. He's probably. You know what? He's probably arguably the greatest coach.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think he's one of the most beloved coaches by the players.
Oh, beloved.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? He's a player's coach. That's why I like Popovich
When
a
you
lot.
can take no all-stars, or low
European
key,
gems,
yeah.
European gems, yeah.
And just, come on, man. You should see what they're doing this season. Kawhi's not even playing yet.
Yeah, shout out to Kawhi. Get better soon, buddy.
It's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying is I feel bad for Phil now because he got ran out of New York.
He did a terrible job in New York.
Well, the thing is, like, what does he got to work with? He's got to start from the ground floor again.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I'm glad they got rid of Melo. Honestly, like,
I just don't like how he publicly came out and was just. It's like he forced Melo out of New York. I don't like how he went about that. Like,
well, there's a certain way to handle things, and I can understand that and appreciate that. Maybe he went about it the wrong way, but in this media-driven age, when you got players talking to the press and being outspoken about the situation, taking to the Twitter, sometimes you have to clap back. You know what I mean?
Melo wasn't even on Twitter or taking it anywhere like that. Anytime they asked him a question about it, he was kind of like humble in a sense. He was like, it's
well, I think the OKC experiment's not going to work, but we'll see how it plays out. Because you said the other day you were talking to Sean and Cole, and you guys were posting how surprised how OKC is not really doing what you thought they would be doing.
And they're not going to win it this year. They're good. They're a good team, but think about like when LeBron went to the Heat the first year. Like they did great, and they got to the finals, and they got fucking beat by the Mavericks.
Yeah, but that was a veteran. Like you got arguably one of the greatest point guards in Kidd, a veteran and Dirk, and then who else was on that? Who else was on that squad?
They would have won that series had LeBron.
Was Tyson Chandler on that team? Yeah, Tyson Chandler was one of the best rebounders in the league at the time.
But still, they would have won that series, no questions, if LeBron had played like LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, he deferred a lot. He passed the ball off to Wade or Bosh, and it's like, bro, I'm claiming to be the best player in the world.
Skip Bayless had a
You don't
field
pass
with that.
Yeah. You don't pass the ball in clutch time. When did Kobe or Jordan ever pass the ball in clutch time?
They didn't.
Never. And he's the one who has, what is it?
Chosen one?
The chosen one?
Yeah.
If you're the chosen one, bro, you better take that shot. But, that's I'll go in on LeBron all day because people will try to compare him to Jordan and Kobe. I'm like, stop the disrespect.
Well, his finals record doesn't speak well to that, but
Nah.
But
It's not even about the finals record, though.
You can't count finals as much.
Well, I mean,
a little bit, like, you get the rings or whatever finals. Sure, that counts for a certain amount because we got your other players too that are on that squad.
Well, I mean, obviously, it takes more than one player or even three players.
But of course, in that game, a big player like that can carry a team. So
I think especially now in the NBA, everyone's like so focused on getting the big three, they forget about the role players that like make those teams, those great teams. You know, like you could have a big three on the starting, but if your bench is shit, where are you gonna go?
That's the problem with OKC.
Yeah.
The reason why other teams are successful with it is because players now, certain players are less selfish because they're taking less pay on the teams that they know that they can win with. So like if you're on a team with LeBron and you're a player, you're probably not caring that you're only getting paid like $2 million this season because you know you're going to the finals. If you're on the Golden State Warriors, I'll take $1 million, this year because I know I'm going to the finals and I have a good shot of winning. And then I get my ring, I get what I want out of what I've seen or what I saw myself doing in my NBA career. Okay, now I'll chase the money. Like that's the way some people should think of it. Players like Melo have the backwards mentality where they chase the money and then they're not really worried about the championships until like now he is, and it's like so late in his career that he might be another Charles Barkley and not even get one.
Well, he's not going to get one. I wouldn't even say it was so much about him chasing money. I think it was the fact of he kind of had that Allen Iverson thing about him where he had to do it his way, and if it wasn't done his way, it wasn't gonna work.
Nah, bro, he's chasing the money, dude. Because like he wouldn't went to New York, like.
Well, he's from New York, so.
Well, yeah, but like, why are you gonna go to New York when you had options? Like, he was going to the Western Conference Finals in Denver. Like, why are you going to New York?
Well, I think that whole situation with him and George Karl wasn't working out.
It wasn't, but still, you had other options out there. I mean, Spurs isn't a big market, but if people really want a ring, if you really want a ring and you're an NBA player, you go play for the Spurs.
Sure.
Because you're gonna get to the show, or at least close to it. But there's no money to be made in that market, so people are like,
Well, that's the thing is.
So is it just ring chasing now and then?
People are ring chasing now because the super teams have evolved and people want the ring now. But before then, I think so many people were focused on their money because like LeBron and other players set a trend. LeBron was like, you know what, I'll take a pay cut to bring this guy on.
Sure.
And now people are like, oh, damn, maybe I should do that because then I can actually win a ring.
Does that hurt the game then? Like, I feel like they focus on being a super team. Like, okay, I'll take a pay cut so we get this guy on.
I would say it hurts. I would say it hurts the league in the sense that back in like the '90s, there was real rivalries. Like when you saw a Pacers Knicks game, you knew you were gonna get your money's worth, whether you paid to go to the game or you saw it on TV.
There'd be a fight.
Yeah, there'd be a fight. You know there was gonna be a game when it was old school Bulls versus Detroit. Like nowadays. Everyone's friends with each other. Everyone played with each other on their fucking AAU teams back in high school. Everyone's trying to be buddy with each other because they know when their contract is up, if their pal is still at a different team, there's cap space, they're gonna get recruited over there. They want to maintain their relationships with each other. Like I remember watching the 30 for 30 on the Knicks Pacers, and Pat Riley was telling these guys, look, I don't give a fuck if he was your college roommate. If they're in town, you ain't talking to him.
Yeah.
If he's coming down the lane, you're going to put an elbow in his mouth. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what the league's missing. And granted, the Tim Donaghy scandal like really rocked the NBA in a sense now that the refs have something to prove themselves. They're not like calling bullshit because they owe money to certain underworld figures or they're trying to make money. Now they're calling everything to try and like fix the wrongs of what happened for so many years. I get that, but at the same time, you're hurting the game in that sense too. Like it's not the same. And I hate to be a martyr about like all the golden age is over because I hate those people, but it's kind of true.
No.
Yeah.
When it comes to
there needs to be evolving to make the game better. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But does the ring chasing and making the quick super team for a little bit just to get the ring
See, it's not like. And it all comes down to preference. Like, it all comes down to, like, what era in basketball you grew up in. Yeah. And, like, just your mentality on the competition in sports. Like, so for me, I'll say the level of competition in the NBA is higher than it was back then. The competitiveness between the players is lower, if that makes sense.
Okay.
The talent that is in the league right now is so far more better than it was in the 90s. Not taking away from those players, but players don't have that like killer mindset you were talking about. Like, hey, this guy's coming to the rim. Like, you gotta earn it.
Yeah.
You know, now it's just like, give me the quick 2 points. Let's get a fast break.
Right.
You know, or hey, you know, that's my boy. All right, man, you got that one. I'll get you back this next one. Nah, like you gotta play. You like it used to be more physical. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
But you know, like you said, that time.
Like you said, we have physicality, but now like you see a lot of skill.
Yeah, it's way more skill now. Way more
technical.
skill.
Well, I mean, when technology advances and guys are studying players from the past, obviously you're going to be better overall athletically. Like the methodology of training these days is far superior than it was like 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the guys are going to be like bigger, stronger, faster, and with like the nutrients aspects of it, like. I've never really heard of players in the 90s being on like certain diets. I mean, except for Jordan on his workout plan trying to beat Detroit. That's the only thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
In that era. Now guys have all these different methods of training and healing.
See, that's the game evolving to be better.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is I think is a huge plus.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I think it's better in the sense of skill. Like I enjoy watching it more because like you can see as individual players like how they evolve from the average player back in the early 90s and 80s, like just the handles, the moves, the shot, like all the abilities that they have is just mind blowing. So then like the only thing, like I said, with the super teams, I'm not really necessarily mad at it because if I'm an NBA player, I want to win a ring. That's your ultimate goal. You know, the money's gonna come regardless. If you have the talent, the money's gonna come. You will get the ring, and that's all fine and all, but like the Cavs, man, like they have all these superstars now. Like even though some of them are probably at the tail end of their career, it's like, bro, like
D Rose is leaving.
Like what do you? It makes it like it takes away from all the other competition in that conference. Like you know who's going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's either Boston or it's Cavs.
Right.
You know who's going to go in the West. Maybe it's a little bit more competitive in the West, but there's like 3 teams that you can think of off the head.
Yeah, San Antonio.
San Antonio, Golden State, and it's a toss up between like maybe Houston or Oklahoma City. Like
right.
So
well, and that's the thing is like I to be fair to the players now, I don't think like this era is like the first era of the big 3. No, but the thing about it, the difference is like the teams back then they had their major players. Like I'll use Lakers, Celtics, whatever. You had Bird, Parrish, McHale. You had Magic, Worthy, Kareem. Most of those players were drafted to those teams and were developed.
yeah,
You didn't get a guy through a trade or through free agency like most of the teams now are being created. So to be fair, there was big 3 even back in the 80s, but it was just it was a natural and organic thing. It wasn't based on trades or.
Well, it also goes to what Dom was saying though, and it's crazy when you really like try to break it down and think of it this way. And I hope I don't overcomplicate it, but the big 3 always existed, like you said.
Yeah.
But as the game evolved, it just seems so far of a stretch, and like these teams are so much better than these big 3s because like the game evolved and the players are so much better now. They're so much more skilled. So like Durant, Curry, and Klay Thompson.
It's not even fair to watch.
Like,
it's not even fun.
It's a big 3, right?
Yeah.
But you have Magic, Kareem, Worthy. They were a big 3 too. They're just better. So the game evolved. The big 3's still there. It just seems like it's unfair because they're that much better than those guys.
Well, they got 4 All-Stars in the starting lineup.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think of it that way, but it's true. Like,
It is. I mean, nobody's doing sky hooks anymore in the league.
Nah.
You know?
Well, Steph Curry changed the game because everybody wants to pull up from 35 feet and drill a 3.
That's what I mean, when your dad's an all-star, and like you just have a great childhood growing up, like learning from one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what the league is about.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to shoot the 3.
True.
As opposed to back in the day, it was more physical, and people they're like, well, shit, if I have a 3-point shot developed, I don't have to go drive to the rim. I can just pull up. Everybody wants to be Steph Curry.
Well, close to an hour. So, got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I guess thoughts and well wishes to the 300 families that were affected by the bombings in Egypt or terrorist attacks. The toll is still climbing, so thoughts and well wishes to you guys out there. I know times are crazy these days where we don't know what's reality and what's not, like fake news being produced, you know, all this political espionage that's going on, but in the reality of the situation is that people are dying left and right. So to you and to your families, my thoughts and well wishes are with you always.
My final thoughts, I guess, when it comes to Jordan and Kobe, that's how I was gonna make a decision, right? Like I said, for me, because I didn't watch them that much.
Right.
I don't really follow basketball as well or that well, and you think of so I can only pull up the stats, and I can only pull up so much. I can do so much research. I can't watch every single game they play because I'll just I'll take forever. Yeah. But if I'm gonna pick one of them, gotta go Space Jam, man.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's a fair segue.
Why? Because I think it's
That's a fair segue.
Hey, but like I said, whenever you have a paper ball and you're at work and you see the trash can, what does everybody say?
Kobe. That's very true.
I mean, obviously, you can't deny they're both great. They're greatest players, but
absolutely.
I just think of along the lines of like paving the way.
Yeah, I get that.
So
Word.
that's just me. There we go.
Final thoughts, man. Well, I just hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. And we got Christmas coming up too, so
God.
Get ready for the eggnog and the cookies.
Yeah,
me, it's the cookies.
I'm laying off the Christmas parties this year.
Yeah, so just stick to your diet, I guess, this holidays. But other than that,
so I'm drinking Coors Light.
Exactly.
Coors Light.
Or Michelob Ultra, 95 calories.
Pay us.
Right. But yeah, final thoughts are just, I hope you guys had a happy holiday. If you're watching, I hope you guys had a happy holiday, and I hope you have more happy holidays coming up with the Christmas environment that's about to, fulfill the country.
Yeah.
So
open your credit cards.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all later.
Thank you.